Get equipped with Fragments of Silicon.
All right, welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon European Interviews Edition. Final one of these for the season. And joining us this week are George Kulko of Tinybuild and Max Lurio of Laughing Machines.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having us.
Hello, thank you.
No problem. Indeed. Right. So, how we like to get things started is we like to get to know the person behind the games, behind the studio, and so on and so forth. And we do this by asking this question: what got you both interested in video games on a personal and a professional level?
Who will go first?
I think you, Max, go first.
Yeah, okay. On personal level, it was probably in my teen years when I started modding games like Warcraft 3, Morrowind, The Elder Scrolls, Neverwinter, and like this. So I made a lot of mods with my friend. And in professional, I started working with my friends and made some mobile games with them.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me, guys, I've been playing games since I was, I think, 5, and yeah, games are just inseparable from my life. It is my life actually, and yeah, I was working as a journalist back in the day, and then I just transferred to the gaming industry because I was working at the local Ukrainian TV show about video games, and then it just happened that I became a game developer myself. So I was working on party card games. Those are indie titles about parties. And then I joined Tinybuild and started as a community manager. Started working on different projects, including Dungeon.
Okay. And let's see. So, I suppose getting to the game itself, I suppose we should start with what is Undungeon? What is this project exactly?
We can look at this from different points of view. For one, if we go like for gameplay only view, it will be an RPG with real-time action combat. So we want to emphasize both of these like main pillars of the game, and to make it in like bite sizes, so you can experience one. We may call it probably like a dungeon, but it's no more like a set or a series of locations which will provide you a complete experience of like maybe of a full RPG. So if we go from gameplay, it's probably more like this. And if we go from like more from story perspective, and dungeon is like a mix of different kind of worlds together. So it's you can say it's more like
More like
it's more like it's what I'm trying to say is It's part of it's futuristic, so it's like sci-fi genre. It's the main theme, but we mixed a lot of mythology, mythology in it. So it's you can say like it's hybrid between fantasy and sci-fi.
Right. I played a bit of the arenas, and the opening scroll mentioned like this is a merged Earth, comprising of like 7 Earths. So it's also a bit post-apocalyptic as well.
Yeah, we have depiction of like it calls a wasteland. One of the worlds is apocalyptic, and the main event it's like happening apocalypse. So as you play, you will have events that called shifts, and they will change the dimension at which you play. So you start at wasteland, and then you progress to a swampy area, which we call Living Land.
Mhm. Right.
So yes, basically the game is not post-apocalyptic, but it is like apocalyptic. So it's happening right now as you play.
Fair enough. Like, is your goal to like stop the apocalypse, to stop the mergings, or is it more just try to survive?
The main goal is to stop the apocalypse because uh, it's a bit of a spoiler, so I'm I'm trying not to spoil the main story for everybody.
Right.
But the main idea is this: there is a core at the center of all universes, and this core, for some reason, it will be discovered in the story. It's dropping, so like it's actively destroying as the game starts. Uh, and this core is the reason why all the dimensions exist. And when this core destroys completely, all dimensions will be gone. So the goal of the player is to create a new artificial core to replace the old one, which is destroying right now, and to tie to this new core all new dimensions.
Okay.
So basically, this core acts as an anchor of sorts, which is dragging those old dimensions down into oblivion. And what you have to do is you have to tile those dimensions to a new core, which is your like home base called the hub. Am I right, Max?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's it.
Right.
So this what George was talking is when you start the game and right now you're playing, you are in a hub. It stands for Herald Undercover Bay. This place it's exists in off dimension. It's like a dimension of itself, and this hub is represent the new core. So one of the playable characters right now he's not playable, but he will be in the final game at Harma. He's created this area, the hub, and he's trying to make this new hub the new core.
Mhm.
And player will be able in final game to upgrade hub. For example, build new quarters for to bring more NPCs from other dimensions into the hub, and this NPC will allow player to get from them, for example, crafting or new materials or new items.
This actually is the feature which I'm very excited about, because imagine like in Diablo, if you were able to bring some NPCs into your hometown, not hometown, but home camp or whatever, and have them there to like to trade with them to craft stuff for you. It's very like, I think it's cool. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah, that sounds like a neat feature. Like, And now, in terms of the playable characters, how many are you angling for in the full release?
We're aiming to have 3 characters at release, and we want to add more characters in the future.
Okay. And so, who are the 2 playable characters in the arena?
Those are Dharma. No, sorry, Marduk.
Marduk
Is the
and
one.
Void.
Yeah, Marduk is the one who is playing right now, and Void. Those guys are heralds, which are powerful representatives of dimensions. And yeah, the guy that you are seeing on our key art on Steam is Void. Yeah, the guy with big long mask. Yeah, for at Dungeons Arena's key art, you can see both of these guys. Also, we will have Dharma as a third playable character, but he's not like playable yet because we're still working on him. Yeah.
And in terms of playing these characters, do they have appreciable differences, or is it all cosmetic?
No, they have a lot of differences. For starters, this is like totally different classes. Because Void is a melee character and Marduk is ranged. And moreover, they have different kind of resources. For example, Void have stamina that is more like in Dark Souls games, you have to manage it. And Marduk has contour, which is generated by your abilities and is acting like a shield. So when you get hit, first the damage will go to contour and after to your health. So they play very differently.
Okay. That's good to know. And I suppose we should address, we've touched upon it a bit here, but what we're showcasing here specifically is kind of a standalone release called Dungeon Arena. So does this mean this is like pure combat?
Basically, this this release represents the combat of the main game. So yeah, it's a separate release, but it's still like it what we have been working on for the main game, but we decided to release it separately, to make it more appealing and to have the not the regular demo that's just the part of the main game. We decided to make it like with its own story and multiple endings, but all the content that we have in Arena will be in the main game, so it doesn't affect the development process at all. It doesn't like halt it or whatever.
Okay, so this is like a prologue to the main game.
Then. Yeah, you can say that. Yep.
Okay. And like, how long is Arena? Like, how much of an arena is there?
If you play without dying, you can finish it in probably under 1 hour. But with if you die sometimes, it will take you a couple hours probably. And 1 hour with one hero. So with 2 heroes, it will take you 2 hours. Something like this.
And I suppose along those lines, is one expected to die a lot in the onset? Like, is this a difficult game?
It's a skill-based game. So if you, for example, don't know some patterns of the enemies, probably you will die. But eventually, like the game doesn't design to be hard. It's not the goal of the game.
Yeah, but you still die, right?
Yeah, you still have to manage enemies. So if you look closely to the patterns and you use your upgrade system, for example, runes and consumables, you probably won't die.
Oh, okay, we have a fight coming up. I see.
Yeah, and you hire a mercenary, he will help you. And with mercenaries, we have one cool thing with them is every time you hire him, he will tell you a little bit of his story. And if you hire him, if I remember correctly, 4 times, he will tell you the full story with the ending. So there is story bit with him, and each arena will have at least one mercenary.
Interesting. And how many mercenaries are there?
Right now we have 4 mercenaries. Each of them have a different story, which give you more in-depth looks on the universe itself.
All right. And how long has Undungeon Arena been out?
Probably more than a month. Yeah.
Yeah, it was released on October 26th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a fair amount of time. And what's the reception been from people that have played this arena?
No, October 29th. Sorry, come again?
What's the reception been from the player base? What's the feedback you've been getting from Undungeon Arena here?
On Steam we have a positive rate for reviews, so people have been liking it so far, 90% positive. Also, a lot of people mentioned that combat was fun, and I think that people really appreciate that we, put a lot of effort in making this demo interesting and not just like a separate part of the game which is out of context. So I think that overall reception was good, and we've been getting some questions about whether it was a distraction from the main development process or whatever. But there is nothing to worry about because Arena is a part of Dungeons development. So again, there is nothing to worry about, and we're just making the main game and showing people what to expect.
Well, that's good to hear. Now, I suppose the question a couple onto this is there any feedback that you have seen that's going to be incorporated or affecting the upcoming full release?
Yeah, for sure. I think Max will agree with me on that. A lot of feedback that we have been getting from players will be implemented. Am I right, Max?
Yeah. A lot of we get generally good feedback and some polishing features, and most of it will implement it.
Okay. And is there anything specific you can point to, or is that kind of something you want to leave vague at this stage?
There was a lot of small things for user experience. Like we have, for example, it's not yet in the arena, but we'll probably make an update with it. It's the tutorial part for Marduk, for example. Right now, if you fill up your counter gauge to the maximum, you will start to lose health after the red bar. And right now, we don't have tutorial for this part, and a lot of people were struggling with it.
And actually, one good thing about making an indie game is that the community is rather small. It's significantly smaller than the communities of bigger games, but it's more intimate, and you can communicate with people, for example, on Discord and Reddit directly. And the feedback and our response are more like, I don't know, more on the personal level maybe. So yeah, we have one guy in our Discord who has a lot of feedback to give us. So he's been like writing really long texts with some cool ideas on lore and gameplay and story. And having these types of guys in our community is pretty cool.
Indeed. I think the word you're looking for is perhaps nimble or agile. Given that you're a small team, you can respond to feedback quicker than, say a triple A game, which has a lot more people, a lot more moving parts, a lot more approval processes, and so on
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
forth. Now, in that regard, how many people are working on Undungeon currently?
Right now, it's 12 people.
Okay.
So 12 people on the development team. Also,
12.
I'm the community manager for Dungeon, and we have producer Ivan. And yeah, we went into a dungeon directly, and also some people from Tinybuild, also like are engaged in the overall process of publishing a dungeon.
Okay. That's a fair amount of people to be working on an indie title.
Well, yep, you can
Yeah.
say that.
We've encountered more. We've certainly encountered less.
Yeah, it's not like 2 people or 3 people, but it's not at the same time it's not I don't know 50 people. So it's kind
Yeah.
of a decent amount of people. Yeah.
Yes, it would be in the middle, though, trending towards the smaller side.
Yep. And also 4 of those 12 people are artists because some dungeon needs a lot of art to be created, as you can see.
Yeah, it's a very artistic game.
Yeah, indeed.
From what I've seen. And how long has Undungeon been worked on? And not just like the arena, like the whole thing. Has 2 years or something like that?
I believe 5 years, right, Max?
Yeah, it's probably more about 5 years.
5 years. So
Yeah.
since 2015. And yeah, since we're planning our release for 2021, so 6 years overall. It will take 6 years to make a dungeon.
I'm not surprised at that number. Like, honestly, that's we've encountered that quite a bit, actually. A game that even a game that looks this, if you will, simple, taking 5 or some odd years of that nature. Because even the maybe not a 3D AAA title or whatever takes a lot of time to make.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the team has encountered a lot of difficulties on their way to the release, and actually, I'm very glad on how it all goes down right now, and to being able to overcome those challenges is very, I can give credit to guys for this.
I mean, it's good that your game has overcome the difficulties and is, it's not out yet, but it looks like it's heading towards the finish line.
Yeah, it is.
So, and not every game makes it that far.
Yeah, sadly, you're right. A lot of games don't make it, but we plan on releasing a dungeon next year, and I don't see any things that will get in the way of it, unless some aliens come to Earth and
Right.
take us over. Yeah,
Foreseeable obstacles.
yeah. Otherwise, we will do it.
Yes.
At least we're planning to do it.
Now, in terms of releasing next year, are you looking at like spring or the fall?
It's
Is it
second quarter of next year.
okay?
So it starts in April and ends on June, so somewhere between these months, I believe.
So about 3 to 6 months from now, let's say.
Yep, something like that.
Mhm. And what still needs to be worked on in the main release? Other than what we've already touched upon.
Can you repeat the last part?
We touched upon like the third character that's being worked on. What else is being created for the main release?
Oh, right now we are finishing second world and already in production the third world. So on the release we will have 3 characters and 3 universes. And we already finished the first one, almost finished the second one, and already working on the third one.
That's a goodly amount of progress. And shifting gears a bit here on something we haven't focused on yet, the music. Who's creating the music? What kind of what style is it, and things of that nature.
We have sound designer who's working from the start of the project, and he is creating all the music and sound effects for the project. In terms of style, I'm not sure. You probably have to listen, but all the players love it. So it's more like on the heavy side, but it's like have some grunge notes to it. Techno.
From what I heard, it sounded very synthwave.
Yeah.
Um, you know, very 80s, if you will. Like, and are you looking to do an early access release before a full proper release, or is it just going to go to 1.0?
No, it will be 1.0. That's the plan. We are not. Yeah, we don't want to do early access. We will release the full game. No.
Okay. Fair enough. In terms of computer formats, is this looking to be Windows only, or are you building for Mac and Linux as well?
We have plans to make builds for Mac and Linux. We're not sure if it will be available day one on release, but we will make it eventually.
Okay. And in terms of other platforms, have you given any thought to any sort of console or mobile release?
Right now, it's confirmed for Xbox One. Also, I think that we will see if we'll be able to release it for PlayStation 4 and Switch, but not confirming it so far. Also, not sure about mobile platforms. So right now it's PC and Xbox One that is installed. The other releases will be, if we will be releasing the game on other platforms, we'll announce it in the future.
All right. Now, in terms of post-launch content, is the goal to have all of the 7 Earths represented via a character?
Not sure about that, but we want to release more characters for sure. And I think we'll have to see how the game performs and then make the final decision. But for sure, we want to add more content because Dungeon is a very ambitious project, and this world is very immersive and appealing. And I think people will want to see more when we release the game. So yeah, it's something we will definitely think about after the release.
And let's see, I suppose my final question at this stage is, in terms of storefronts, is this going to be Steam only, or are you looking to come to like GOG, EGS, and what have you?
I don't have this information, but this is possible. Steam is 100%, and other stores are possible, but not
Okay.
confirmed.
Fair enough. And now I'll turn it over to my colleagues to see if they have any questions of their own to ask you.
I think I'm good, but it looks interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
I think all of mine have been answered.
All right. So I guess my final question will be the title itself, Undungeon. Is that literal? Like, are there no dungeons in this game, and why no dungeons?
You can say that the name is a part of the main story, the meaning of it. And as for the dungeons, we don't have like formal dungeons.
I think
Okay.
that this title derived from the idea of the game that was planned to be a roguelite. So you literally had to to form dungeons, but not literally dungeons, because those were like separate locations which resemble dungeons in some way, but those like areas wasn't dungeons, like in the conventional sense of the word. So, but yeah, we are focusing on making dungeon an RPG, not a roguelite. There will be some roguelite elements in the game, but overall it will be an action RPG. So I think that title makes sense only story-wise today.
Yes, story-wise and mechanic-wise as well, because we have, for example, in the main story, when player enters like first dimension and each step next, he will have one open, like small open world to him. So you progress one open world after the next, after the next. So we will have, for example, like maybe 10 to 15 locations at your disposal, some global map that you can traverse around, and
So yeah, so the worlds will be like the main locations, and those little locations, like local locations, they will be like dungeons, but not really. So yeah, pretty much it.
Yes, I suppose that makes sense.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it was lovely having both of you on our program today, and want to thank you for taking time to be here to talk about your game.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having us. It was a fun interview.
No
It was
problem.
a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
No problem. We've liked what we've seen so far, and we're looking forward to the full release.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Right then.
We
Right then.
hope it goes well.
Yeah, right. So the game is Undungeon. The Undungeon Arena is currently available on Steam as a free download. You can pick that. You can go and download that today, and be sure to look forward to the full release coming Q2 of 2021. Price TBD. Be sure to wishlist that today. And yeah, so that'll about do it for this installment of Fragments of Silicon. If you enjoyed what you heard today, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you will be informed of when we go and broadcast our stuff. On that note, be sure to join us for the Sunday reviews. And until then, I shall wish you good gaming.